Good evening. Welcome to the BB&T Lecture in Free Enterprise. I'm Faye McIntyre, Dean of the Richards College of Business. We are excited to have you join us this evening. We've got a great program. How many of you have heard of Johnny Cupcakes before this event? Okay, so a handful. I think you are in for a real treat. He's going to be exciting, he's really dynamic, and he has a terrific story to tell. So before we get going this evening, there are a couple of things I want to do just for logistics. After the lecture tonight, we're going to have microphones at either front part of the stage. So if you have a question, please come down so that you can ask your question using the microphone. This is good experience for public speaking, so all of our students will use the microphone. We also have a few gifts for people who are brave enough to come forward and ask a great question. And then after the Q&A, if you need to get credit for coming tonight, we'll have card swipers outside the door, so that'll be after Q&A. Y'all are awfully quiet tonight. Are you excited to be here? All right. Well, I'm going to introduce next the president, but before I do that, this is the BB&T Lecture in Free Enterprise, so could I ask all of our guests from BB&T to please stand so that we can thank you for your sponsorship of this event? And now I'm going to turn it over to President Kyle Marrero, who's going to welcome you on behalf of the university. Dr. Marrero.
Thank you, Dean McIntyre. Thanks. Well, welcome, everybody. Well, I love the BB&T Free Enterprise Lecture Series, and I want to thank BB&T again, because this is the type of strategic partnership we look for here at the University of West Georgia, where our students have the opportunity to intersect, to hear from CEOs around the country, all the way from Fortune 500 companies to somebody like Johnny Earl, who has made this out of nowhere and become a great brand across the United States, frankly, across the world. So it should be exciting. You're going to get to hear a story. You're going to get to see somebody that looks a little bit like you. And that's fun, because it's you see with a dream, with a passion, you can make it all happen. So again, thank you all for being here tonight on behalf of the University of West Georgia. We really, really hold this lecture series dear to us. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Senior Vice President Tammy Hughes from BB&T. Tammy?
Thank you, Dr. Marrero. BB&T is proud to partner with the University of West Georgia and the Richards College of Business to bring excellent speakers to our community to inspire and educate our future business leaders about the value of free markets and capitalism. So we're very happy that you've joined us tonight. Why have thousands of customers from around the world chosen to get the Johnny Cupcakes logo tattooed on their bodies? And how does Johnny get hundreds of people to camp outside his fake bakeries? Over the past decade, Johnny Cupcakes, founded by Johnny Earl, has grown from a joke to a multi-million-dollar, highly exclusive t-shirt brand. Driven by a community of worldwide collectors, Johnny shares his story of how he took his t-shirt brand from the trunk of his rusty car at age 19, along with a learning disability, to some of the world's most sought-after retail locations. Johnny has been named America's #1 young entrepreneur by Business Week, one of the top innovative people in Massachusetts by the Boston Globe, recognized 4 consecutive years on the Inc. 500 5000 list of fastest-growing independent companies, and has been featured on MTV, NPR, Forbes, The Wall Street Journal, and as a case study in several branding and business books. With an inspiring and certainly unpredictable story, Johnny exudes the fundamental connection between the person and the brand. He offers insight into how his success reinforces the power of details, customer experience, and loyalty, and provides comprehensive blueprints for getting any small business, passion, or idea off the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Johnny Cupcakes Earl to the University of West Georgia.
Thank you very much. How's it going? My name is Johnny Cupcakes. Cupcakes is not my real last name, but sometimes I pretend it is. And I tell people that it's part Portuguese and I throw a couple dots above the U to make it look authentic. And I tell them my name's Johnny Cupcakes, and that's how I got the name. But it's really not. I like Wu-Tang Clan. I like banh mi sandwiches. I love Mario Kart 64, Aladdin the video game. I love to floss my teeth all the time. And two of my favorite movies are Ghostbusters and Home Alone. However, the people who now live here do not love trespassers, so I could only take 132 photos before I got kicked off of the property with my talk boy and fake tarantula. What I don't love is traffic, and growing up just outside of Boston, Massachusetts, I would see my family come home pretty late from their 9-to-5 job, and they didn't spend too much time raising my little sister and I. So I was inspired at a young age to figure out a way to work for myself so that I could come up with more time and just more activities to spend with my family, friends, and loved ones. So this is me when I was younger. Not much has changed. I still have all of these toys, and I can still fit into those clothes. This is my family. That's my dad's award-winning mustache, and that's me pretending to eat my little sister right when she was born. So my family didn't have too much money growing up, so my mom would always cut my hair with kitchen scissors. These are some of the haircuts she gave me. But, you know, my parents did teach me that it's what's inside that matters. And even though I rolled out of bed like this and went to school, I was still friends with, you know, the troublemakers at school, with the nerds, with the athletic kids, and I was just genuinely curious to learn from other people's stories and other people's backgrounds. This is my best friend, Lindsay. She's my sister, and by being an entrepreneur, I now get to spend time with my family just about every single day, and it's a true blessing. So I like to say, do more of what makes you happy. This is a phrase that we put on the inside of all of our t-shirt tags, and it's important to recognize, you know, it's hard to tell when you're in the moment, but life is really short, and it's unfortunate that sometimes it takes a near-death experience for us to realize how valuable our time and our happiness really is. So I started 16 businesses before I was 16 years old, determined to figure out a way to work for myself while doing something that I'm passionate about. I started lemonade stands. I graduated to having yard sales when my family was not home. This didn't last too long, so I had to stop doing that. Around Halloween, I would set up haunted houses in my friend Brian's backyard, and we would charge people $1 a ticket. It was a little sketchy, so we stopped doing that. But even though I failed at some of these, I kept moving forward, and I believe that everybody has brilliant ideas. But more often than not, we're so afraid of failing, and we get haunted by the what-ifs. You know, what if my parents don't, you know, support this, and what if it doesn't work out? And I fail every single day. To this day, I still make mistakes. But it's what inspires me to take those learning lessons and build something better tomorrow. So another business that I had started was I shoveled snow. And winters are pretty brutal in Massachusetts. I made a small investment in a shovel for about $8 at the hardware store. And I knew I wasn't going to shovel snow for the rest of my life. However, sometimes these jobs that we do not enjoy are stepping stones to something better. And I would go up and down the street. I'd charge people $20 a driveway. If I could do 5 driveways in a day, I could make $100 cash. And what was great about this is since I could barely push the shovel, it worked out to my advantage because people felt bad for me, so they gave me extra money. So another business I had, I would go up and down Nantasket Beach illegally selling drinks out of this cooler. I didn't have a seller's permit. I did not even know about that. I didn't take any business classes. You know, I wasn't even a teenager yet. And I was selling drinks out of this cooler. I realized that I could buy a 12-pack of Coca-Cola for a significantly discounted price rather than buying one soda at a time and reselling it. This was going great, even though I could barely push this. It worked out to my advantage as well. When I was 8 years old, I got into magic, and this is when everything changed. I realized that I could do something that makes me happy, that makes other people happy, and I could figure out a way to get paid for this, which seemed like magic in itself. My parents got me this magic kit for Christmas, and I started doing magic tricks at birthday parties, and I would get paid $20 a half an hour to perform magic when I was 8 years old. This was one of my first parties. I was infatuated with creating a unique experience with the audience, and my mother gave me a scrapbook a few years ago, And it's great because it was a very thoughtful gift. In looking through this scrapbook, there was actually the original clipping, newspaper clipping from our local newspaper of the advertisement that she put in when I was 8 years old to do magic. And I'm looking back at this, and I realized two things. I realized, one, I'm not 8 years old anymore, so if I put this ad in the newspaper now, it looks a little creepy. And the second thing I realized is my mother would drop me off at strangers' houses when I was 8 years old to do magic. And this was in the newspaper. And I'm like, Mom, someday I'm really going to disappear. You can't just, drop me off at strangers' houses. So I went to public schools. I had a really hard time learning. I was getting terrible grades, and I had to get put into a charter school so I could take, classes with not so many students, and I could take my testing with unlimited timing and little things like that. I was scared at first. I was nervous. I was like, great, I got to take this funny little bus to school, but it was the best thing that happened to me, and I hopped on that bus, and I was really happy, and it worked out, and I went to this charter school. I was in 8th grade, 13 years old, and I used to wear really big clothes because I wanted to be a gangster when I was younger, but that didn't work out. So at the charter school, I realized that this startup school did not have a yearbook, so I decided to take my personal scrapbook and I turned it into the school's very first yearbook. If you have an idea for a product, an event, a project, or a company you want to start, and if you have little to no startup money, a great solution is taking pre-orders. You can go around with your product, with your idea, and pitch it to people, and if you could say, hey, I'm launching this t-shirt brand, or I'm coming out with my first album, or I'm starting a food truck. This is going to launch in a few months, but if you support me now, I'm going to give you this special deal when it does launch. So you can kind of give them some incentives to want to support you before it comes to fruition. Timing helps out, realizing that people get paid at the end of the week. So when you try to pitch them a sale on a Monday, they're probably not even going to look at you. But if you try to sell someone something at the end of the week, it's payday, they're a little more happier, or maybe around the holidays when people are more apt to thinking about gift giving. Offer an incentive, give them a reason to want to support your idea. Have a physical sample, it makes it less sketchy. Approach the right people, and approach people you know, your friends, your family, your coworkers. All these people want to see you succeed, so they're going to support your ideas. But after that, you do have to leave your social circle to meet new people, and that's okay. It is scary at first, but it's where all the magic happens. You get to learn from other people's mistakes, other people's success, just by leaving your friends to meet new people, whether it's on campus or off of campus. And if you're selling a product, this really helps out too, because you can get opinions of people that do not know anything about what you do, and they're probably going to give you more honest feedback. So 3 things to keep in mind: have good eye contact, have a great handshake, do not have any poo-poo breath. You could have $1 million idea, but if the person you're pitching it to is focused on how terrible your breath smells, they're not even listening to your idea. They're just trying to think of a way to exit the situation. So these 3 things have really helped me in the past. When you do make eye contact, just don't stare too long. It might come off a little creepy. Have a good handshake. If your hand sweats, that's okay. Just be mindful and wipe it off. I love my dad, but when my dad shakes people's hands, he'll hold on to their hand for like a whole minute while he's talking to them. I'm like, Dad, you're holding their hand. And no poopy breath. I try to keep mints on me all the time. I gave all of you a mint when you came in, so you can hang on to that for when the right moment approaches. So in 8th grade, 13 years old, I was selling a product that didn't even exist yet. And what was great about this is I only had to produce exactly what I pre-sold. So I was able to take a very calculated risk. I happened to sell 100 of these yearbooks before they existed. So when I went to get these made at the copy shop, I was able to just say, hey, I only need 100 of these. And I was paying for them with other people's money. I did not even use any of my own money for this project. I was able to make $2,000. It was a $1,500 cash profit. It was a lot of money. It was actually money the government didn't even know about. I'm just kidding, kind of not really. But yeah, anyways, I had to come up with another business because The school donates money to school functions, and they decided to start their own yearbook to raise some money, and I was out of a job. So I had to come up with another business. I was always a class clown. My dad is always a goofy person, and I love playing tricks on people. I used to go to this one joke shop so much that the owner sat down with me, and he said, "Listen, kid, I appreciate your business, but how would you like it if I told you you could get 144 whoopee cushions for the price of 4 retail whoopee cushions?" And I was like, that's a lot of whoopee cushions. I don't know what I'm going to do with them all, but that's a really great deal. So I went home that day with a catalog from Oriental Trading Company, and I was like, whoa, what is wholesale? This is great. All I have to do is make a small financial risk up front, and if I feel confident in selling these bulk pranks, this could be good. So I ordered 144 whoopee cushions. I sold them, and it was going great. And then not so many people were buying them because I was tricking them and then saying, that could be yours for a small price of $4.99. And instead of giving me money, a lot of people gave me the middle finger, and it didn't really work out. But I had to figure out what to do with the rest of these. So for the next 2 years, everyone in my family got a whoopee cushion for their birthday, for Valentine's Day, for Christmas, for Easter. And then I came up with a really cool idea. I'm going to take all of my leftover products, and I started trading whoopee cushions for other people's snacks at lunch. And then I would take their snacks and I would resell them to other people. And all of a sudden, I got rid of all of these whoopee cushions. I had a new product, and I got rid of those products. And now I have a bunch of money. So what am I going to do next? Now, whether you're working for yourself or for another company, when you start to make some money, it's often attractive to get your car fixed or buy some new sneakers. However, in the early stages of starting a business, it's so important to reinvest that money back into yourself, whether it's your business cards, your products, your events. And that's what I did. I started buying itching powder, fart spray, stink bomb, switchblade combs. This was going great. Itching powder was a big seller until someone had an allergic reaction and their back was covered with hives. They had to get rushed to the emergency room. They had a huge rash on their back. And this isn't really their back. I actually got this off of Google image search. At first I typed in rash, and then I was like, oh no. So then I typed in back rash. So I got in trouble. They said, hey, you shouldn't be selling this in school. And I said, I was just selling it. I didn't put it on anybody. And they said, yeah, but you need to focus on graduating. So I got suspended for a couple weeks. At first, I was like, sweet, school vacation. And then I got home, and there was nothing on TV except Cash for Gold commercials, and it was really depressing. And I just wanted to go back to school. I wanted to learn. I wanted to come up with another business, and I wanted to see my friends. So when I went back to school, I had to come up with something else to sell. And since most of my friends were selling drugs at the time, I decided to sell candy. I wanted to take a more positive approach to life, and I decided to sell candy. Now that I'm introduced to the world of wholesale, I know that I could get anything in the world at inexpensive prices as long as I take that financial risk up front and buy a bunch of candy in bulk. So I did that. And even though there was a school store, I had all the good stuff. I had M&Ms, I had Sour Patch Kids, I had Sour Patch Watermelons, which are the best things in the world next to Blue Raspberry Gushers. And I sold Swedish fish. I'd come home every day with a backpack full of cash. It was unbelievable. Some weeks were terrible because I could not get a ride to BJ's, Costco, Walgreens, or Walmart, but some other weeks were great. I went to a very small school, so if I could sell 100 packs of candy at $1 each, only 2 times a day, that's $200 a day, times 5 days a week. There were some weeks where I was making about $1,000 cash off of selling something legal, selling candy. Even my drug dealer friends were confused. They were like, how much money did you make? That's crazy. And I was like, guys, you actually bought most of the candy from me because you had the munchies. And they were like, oh yeah. So they were my #1 customer, and they didn't even realize it. This was going great until the school realized how much money I was making. The school donates money to school functions, the school store does, and I was donating money to not having to get a real job and to whoopee cushions. So I had to go back to square one and figure out something new to do. Now, one of the requirements to graduate the South Shore Charter School was to get an internship, and I did not realize how valuable this was at the time. I sat down, I flipped through a phone book, I'm trying to figure out what I'm passionate about. There was a construction company, I'm not really built for that. There's a plumbing company, I love Mario Brothers, but I didn't want to be a plumber just yet. And there was a place that printed T-shirts, a place that prints apparel. Now, I couldn't afford too many graphic T-shirts at the time, so why not figure out how to get these things made? I didn't think of the Johnny Cupcakes T-shirt brand just yet. However, anytime I saw I would see a T-shirt come out of that dryer, it was like an idea machine, and it inspired me to think of T-shirts for my friends' bands or ideas for the future. And I still had to come up with new ways to make money on the side, but I highly suggest that you all get an internship. You're never too young and you're never too old to intern, to volunteer, to job shadow. Learning hands-on is key. Even if you just take someone from another company out for coffee for 15 minutes and ask them 3 questions, and you could get some feedback that could change your life. Another thing that's great is when you're interning, volunteering, or job shadowing, you learn firsthand what you want to do for the rest of your life, but more importantly, what you do not want to do for the rest of your life, which could help save you a lot of time, money, and aggravation. So get some internships, check out some companies that are in and around Georgia, and you might find something that interests you. And sometimes you can get a paid internship, but the best thing of all is you get real-life experience. And after you graduate from school, one of the big things that people will ask you is, how much experience do you have? And if you can have some of that real-life experience with you under your belt, that's really going to help out. So I was focusing now, playing later. I still had some other businesses. I DJ'd with real turntables without a laptop. I even sold glow sticks around 4th of July. At one point, I even sold Tupperware, which was cool because I was the only guy doing this. But at one point, it got a little creepy, and I decided to stop selling Tupperware. I still have a lot of the Tupperware that I used to have, though, but I don't have the lids anymore. Story of everybody's lives, which is why Tupperware is so successful. So at a young age, I began cutting back on things that I spent an excessive amount of time on. Time is the most valuable thing that you have. It's more valuable than money, and it's something that you can never get back. So I began cutting back on video games. I cut back on watching television. I had a girlfriend at the time who was not really super supportive, and I ended up breaking up with her. And for the next few weeks, I was really sad. But after those 2 weeks went by, I was like, whoa, look at all this money I'm saving. This is crazy. But seriously, I wanted to build a strong foundation for my life before taking on the responsibilities of another human's emotions. And I had no idea what I wanted to do, what I was passionate about, but I knew I needed a lot of time to figure that out. And if I could figure that out first and then take on a relationship, I'd be in a much better place. So broke things off. That was great. And then partying. Even though I grew up with a lot of troublemakers, to this day, I'm 33 years old now. I've actually never had a sip of alcohol in my life. I've never tried any drugs. I've purchased alcohol because I like the cool packaging and the designs, but I've never tried it. And yeah, I will go to parties, but I'll brown bag a Capri Sun juice drink so nobody heckles me for not drinking alcohol. But I've never tried it before. And the amount of money that I've saved by not going out my entire life on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, recouping Sundays, and half of Mondays, that's 5 days a week. Not only was I saving money, but I was able to operate at 110% and try out all of these other businesses. And I was able to fail and fail fast and find out what I was passionate about. You do not have to cut back on any of this stuff. But if you are serious about working for yourself or starting your own business, it's really important to recognize what you do spend a lot of time of. And even if you could just cut back, an hour or two to put it into building your website or attending some networking events or putting on your own events, it could really, really help. I learned the more you put in, the more you get back. It's as simple as that. When I do go to parties, though, I will bring Orajel with me. Now, Orajel is a gel format of Novocaine. It makes your mouth numb when you have a cavity. Now, when my friends aren't looking and I'm at a party, I'll put this on the rims of their drinks. So by the time they go hit on a cute guy or girl, they start drooling down their face because their face is numb from the stuff that I put in their drink. You could pick this up at CVS, Rite Aid, Costco, Walgreens, Walmart. Just make sure nobody's allergic to this. What's great is if you have a roommate or a significant other that always asks for a piece of gum, you could put a little bit of Orajel on it. Or if you're like me, sometimes I'll put Orajel on my finger and I'll pretend my friend has a bug on their lip, and I'll say, "Don't move," and I'll get it off, and they'll say, "Oh my God, I think it bit me, my mouth's numb." So I really believe that humor is so important to involve in your life every day. Life is too short to be grumpy, to complain, and if you can involve humor in your life, at work, in school, and outside of school, you will live a more cheerful life, I promise. So I went to school for a little while, graduated high school, went to college, took a small break, decided to make an investment in a pin-making machine. It makes pins, buttons, badges. I also had the opportunity to tour with this hardcore metal band that I used to be in, this band called On Broken Wings. And my mom was like, all right, try this out, and come back and we'll figure out what's next. So I bought a pin-making machine, though, off of eBay. It was $130, and to this day, it's made me hundreds of thousands of dollars. I would sit at home, make these little pins, and I would watch Cartoon Network, and I would just print out designs and resell them at different concerts, sports events. I'd make them for local organizations, and this was going great. These pins would cost me 10 to 20 cents each to make, and I would resell them for $1 to $2 each. This was going great. I ended up teaming up with a friend of mine because my friend had a way better printer. He was better at designing, and why not start a business with a friend? You get to hang out all day and figure out ways to make money together. Well, it ended up being great at first. We did get our pins sold through all of these record stores throughout Massachusetts, this store called Newbury Comics. And then my friend got a girlfriend, and he was not so passionate about working anymore, and we could not keep up with the orders, and we failed. However, I kept positive, and I told myself, if I start a business again, I'm going to try to do it by myself, because when you start a business with a friend, you could jeopardize a friendship or a relationship. So I kept positive. While my friends were hanging out with cute girls at parties, I was hanging out with cute old ladies at Joann Fabrics. I would go up and down the fleece aisle, and I would buy yards of fleece fabric that was on sale for $3 for a yard. I would then get a pizza cutter, and I would cut it in 3 strips, then making 3 scarves out of that 1 yard of fabric that cost me $3 each. So the scarves ended up costing me $1 a scarf. And I would resell these for $30 each, making a really good profit. Anytime I spent $3, I would make $90 and $87 cash profit. When you cut fleece fabric, you don't even have to know how to sew. If you can cut pizza, you can cut this fabric, because if you cut it the right way, it does not fray. I had these sold through many stores throughout New England. This was going great, and then summer came around, and nobody wanted to wear fleece scarves. So I decided to get a real job a job at a record shop full-time so I could have health insurance. This is the car I used to drive. There's nothing wrong with it. It got me from point A to point B. And while working at this record shop, Newbury Comics, I had a lot of goofy coworkers. Since my name's Johnny, people would call me Johnny Appleseed. If I was late for work, they'd call me Johnny Come Lately. Johnny Cupcakes came out of nowhere, completely random. And I was getting t-shirts made for the hardcore metal band that I was in. And I thought it would be funny to make a random t-shirt advertising a bakery that didn't even exist. And I made this shirt that said Johnny Cupcakes on it. And I started making other t-shirts, poking fun at pop culture for no reason whatsoever, just to have fun. And replacing popular icons with cupcakes. Here's a few shirts just to give you an idea. Well, the word of mouth spread like wildfire, and random people, I said the word of mouth spread like wildfire at a lecture once in California, and everyone became quiet, and I was like, oh no. So the word of mouth spread like peanut butter, and people that I did not know were coming into this record shop and sliding up next to me saying, "Psst, are you that cupcake guy? Where can I get one of those t-shirts?" And I was like, "What size are you? I'll meet you in the parking lot at 3 o'clock." And I'd go in the back parking lot, and I would sell them out of the trunk of my rusty Toyota Camry. And this was going great. Now, I would take, anytime I'd sell a t-shirt, I'd order 12 t-shirts. And when I would sell out of them, I'd take that money, and I would then print 24 t-shirts. I'd then get that money and print 48 t-shirts. And then I was also taking the money that I was making every week from the record shop that I worked at, and putting it into these t-shirts or business cards or packaging, little things like that. Because I was not spending that money like all of my friends on the weekends. Instead, I was putting it towards this business and trying to figure things out. So these are some of the shirts, some of the products, just to give you an idea. Chubby Chef slam dunking a cupcake. We actually packaged these in little sneaker boxes to give people an experience when they bought the t-shirt. Here's a plane dropping cupcakes instead of bombs. I wanted to bring, I couldn't fit many t-shirts with me. So I do have two surprises for you guys. One is at the end of the talk, you should all have a green card in those little baggies with you. If you fill that out, we're going to do a raffle at the end, and I'm going to pull out 3 or 4 winners, and either myself or my sister Lindsay, we're going to email you a $50 gift card for our website, and we'll pull out the winners on stage. And then the other thing is we set up a coupon code just for the students here today. This is good just for a couple days for the website. But I couldn't bring everything with you. I did bring pins for you and those little random trading cards, which is something we give to a lot of our customers to get them excited, get them talking. Some other shirts just to give you an idea. Now, this is where you're going to find out why the brand's different, why people camp out for T-shirts, why some of them have gotten the brand's logos tattooed on themselves. We try to have an experience around everything that we do. Now, if you think about every business out there, almost everything has been done before. People have started T-shirt brands. People have opened up restaurants. People have started bands. People have started schools. Teachers have taught. Everybody's done one thing or another. So now, more than anything, it's so important for us to remix and reinvent ourselves so that when we do come out with a business, a product, or an idea, it's so unique that you could take your God bless you. God bless you. It's so unique that you could take your advertising budget and put it into building more unique experiences and letting the customers do the talking for you. This is something that we've done for a really long time. We've been in business for almost 15 years now. And to give you an example, we released a breakfast-themed T-shirt. And you know that frustration that you have when you go buy a breakfast sandwich and you can't buy it because you're 5 minutes late and the toaster's unplugged? Well, we wanted to share that same frustration with all of our customers. So we released a breakfast-themed T-shirt design that you can only buy in the morning. Even if you drove from New York City to Boston to purchase this T-shirt, if you showed up afternoon, we would not sell it to you because it's not breakfast time. We definitely lost some customers that day, but anytime they have breakfast for the rest of their lives, there's a chance they might bring up that story about their experience at the shop. And the people who did get a T-shirt are going to bring up that story as well, because not only did we only sell this breakfast-themed shirt during breakfast hours, but we gave out real breakfast with every T-shirt purchase. Now, we ended up selling these shirts for $40 to $50. They sold out within 24 hours, and we made a connection with our customers up here in their stomachs, in their hearts. Some of them met their best friends, significant others that day, and everybody has a memory associated with their T-shirt. Some other things we do to remix the brand, this is coming out soon. This is a Where's Johnny T-shirt. The only way to get it is we're not even going to sell it. It's going to be so exclusive. The only way to get it is if I post something on my Snapchat, my Twitter, or my Johnny Cupcakes Instagram, and I say, hey, I'm in Georgia at this McDonald's parking lot. I'll be here for 10 minutes. The first 10 people to find me get this T-shirt for free. So it's going to be like a scavenger hunt. We're probably going to come out with these in the next couple months. We've done some collaborations with different schools. We'll take their mascots and put our Johnny Cupcakes twist to it. We've done some projects with Marilyn Monroe's estate, where they wanted us to do a T-shirt for her birthday. So we simply replaced her beauty mark with a little teeny tiny cupcake. It's actually really gross, but people liked it, so we made a bunch of them. Collaborating is great. It could be a small collaboration or a big collaboration. And the best part about a collaboration is the cross-pollination. Another person's customers or fans learning about you and vice versa. You could collaborate with a restaurant, you can collaborate with a school, you can collaborate with an ice cream shop, with a certain photographer, a different designer, and your fans will learn about them and vice versa. And as you grow, you could do bigger collaborations. We've done some stuff with Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers, bicycle cards. The magician inside of me was really excited about this one. And Sanrio approached us, and they wanted us to do a collaboration with Hello Kitty, and they posted our T-shirts on their Facebook fan page that had over 10 million fans at the time, and our website nearly crashed. We ended up generating $250,000 in sales within 24 hours just through our website with zero traditional advertising. We thought something was wrong. This is the first big thing that has ever happened to us, and we realized how successful it was, so we decided to do some more collaborations. We worked with Ninja Turtles. I got a call from Nickelodeon's licensing department from somebody named Donatello, and I was like, are you serious? Who is this? But they wanted us to do some special edition shirts to build up some hype and excitement for the new Ninja Turtles movie. So we put our Johnny Cupcakes twist on everything. And it has to go beyond the designs, though. We have to still think about that experience. So what we did was we had the Ninja Turtles themselves go out and surprise some of our customers that were waiting for T-shirts. This was really great. Some of them were really excited. Now, just to give you an example, there could be someone walking by one of our shops, and they may or may not know or care about Johnny Cupcakes. But if they see something with the Ninja Turtles or Marilyn Monroe or Hello Kitty, and it connects with their childhood, they get curious and they want to go inside. It's kind of like when a band covers a song, you don't know about that musician, but you recognize that song or that sample, you go out and you buy the album. When you collaborate, a good collaboration could get some really great results. Again, with getting brand new people that know nothing about what you do interested in what you do. And I believe that in every workforce, creative thinking must be applied. And these little details, they're the things that separate you from all the other businesses. I always encourage people to come up with at least 12 things that make you unique, that make you different from everybody else. And even after you get those 12 things, it's important to keep building up that notebook full of ideas of why a complete stranger will want to take a risk with whatever it is that you offer. We've done some stuff with Nickelodeon, and the last example that I want to show you is The Simpsons. We worked on this project for 2 years for The Simpsons' big anniversary. We packaged T-shirts in oversized cupcake mix boxes. There was no real cupcakes inside. Again, it was just part of the brand, part of the theme. We put T-shirts in all of these boxes, as well as different accessories. You get the Homer shirt. It comes with Homer socks and a watch. Krusty's came with a bow tie and a hat. And Bart's came with a pair of sunglasses and a wallet. Some of the other shirts. Now, this is really fun, but again, it can't just be the T-shirt. It has to be more than that. We have to give people an experience that they're going to remember, talk about, and associate with the brand. So we gave out Duff Energy drinks with all the T-shirts during that opening event. We gave out actual donuts on cupcakes. We don't usually sell real cupcakes, but when we do, it really confuses people. We had Homer Simpson come out and strangle people that were waiting for T-shirts in line. And my mother even dressed up like Marge Simpson and greeted all of our customers. This is a really fun event, not only for myself and some of our designers, but also it was really fun for the customers and for the rest of the employees, the staff in the shops. Everybody got to dress up and have this camaraderie with everybody that was waiting in line for these T-shirts. People thrive off of new experiences, so much so that they're willing to camp out for days. So my concept is strange, but strange is good. Strange is important. It separates you from the rest. Here's a few examples. Here's Kiss the Band. You may or may not like their music, but we all know about them because they perform rock and roll while they dress up as clowns. Mario Brothers, really strange concept for a video game. It's a plumber who shoots fire out of his nose and or mouth. We still don't know. But we do know he's looking for a princess inside of a sewer, inside of many sewers. It's a really strange concept, but it's the most recognized video game in the entire world. Speaking of sewers, here's the Ninja Turtles. Pretty strange concept. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they're still teenagers, and they eat pizza inside of a sewer where poo-poo floats around. But we all know about them. And then there's the Rainforest Cafe. Raise your hand if you know about the Rainforest Cafe. Raise your hand if you love the food at the Rainforest Cafe. All right. Well, now, whether or not you enjoy the food here, we all know about this establishment because of the experience that they put on for their customers. A little boy and or girl cannot walk past this establishment without dragging their parents inside because you're eating in a jungle, and it's a very different experience. So, like I said, I challenge all of you to come up with at least 12 things that make you unique, whether it's your idea, your projects, your products, your event, whatever it is that you do now within the company you work at or within the company that you want to start. And never stop there, because the second you become comfortable is when another company or another school or another t-shirt brand or another restaurant can come in and steal the thunder. You want to always reinvent yourself and give those strangers a reason to want to learn about what you do. People have too many options. Why will they take a risk with you? So before all that success, when I was 18 years old, living at my parents' house, I was touring with the hardcore metal band that I was in, traveling. It was the best thing that happened to me. Even just going a few states over, it really opened up my mind and made me realize what made me happy. I started selling t-shirts out of my suitcase. They were wrinkled up. They smelled like gas and fast food. However, I was selling out of these t-shirts left and right. I would call home. My mom and my little sister would ship out t-shirts to me in whatever state or city my band was playing in. This was going great, and I had to make a big decision. Am I going to stay with the band, or am I going to do the t-shirts? So I decided to put 110% into working on Johnny Cupcakes. Went to some trade shows in Vegas. There's trade shows for every profession out there. I went out there. I got my t-shirts sold in stores in Italy, Japan, Australia, Canada, and all over the U.S. But the best thing that I took away from those trade shows is the networking, meeting new people, learning from other people's success, other people's mistakes, and just meeting new friends to bounce ideas off of. And that's another great thing, being at school. Not only do you get to utilize the resources here, which is something that I wish I did if I went back in time, whether you're utilizing an auditorium to host a fashion show or you're using the copy machine to help make a catalog, you could get extra credit in some of your business or marketing classes, but also the networking with everybody here. So I want you to take a quick second to high-five a complete stranger in front of you, next to you, behind you. You never know, they could be a future business partner, a future customer. So now I'll give you another example of why that's so important, and I'm going to try to help you out right now. Raise your hand if you are interested in working with a designer or a photographer to work on your website, your business card, or help launch a product. Anybody here? I'm going to try to help you out. Raise your hand really high. All right, now put your hand down. Now, if you are a designer or a photographer or a creative person, raise your hand, and maybe you could link up with those people and work together. Raise your hand up high if you do any of those things. All right. Now, after this lecture, you guys can network with one another, and any business that you make, just send me 20%, and we'll be all good. No, but seriously, by you not leaving your immediate social circle, you are preventing yourself from growing and meeting new people, and it could be potential new friends or business partners or customers. So I like to say, meet strangers unless they drive a white van. It's very important to learn from other people's mistakes and other people's success. So I went back home. Now, I wanted to figure out a way to go direct to my customers. Selling to stores is great and everything, but what if I'm selling to stores, I start making some good money, I hire a bunch of employees, we have a really cool team, and then all those stores stop selling t-shirts because some of them go out of business. Then I'm in big trouble. So I really wanted to build a foundation on going direct to my customers so I could better curate the customer's experience. So I started working on the web store. The online shop kept growing. When people buy things online, they usually spend a little bit more money than they should because you're not seeing cash physically leave your hand. You're just typing in, your PayPal or your credit card number in the comfort of your home. Raise your hand if you've ever purchased an extra product online just because you told yourself, hey, I'm already paying $5 for shipping. I might as well, take advantage of that. Look around. That is insane. That's like a gambler's way of thinking. You know what? To take advantage of this $5 shipping, I'm going to spend $40, $50 more dollars and really stick it to them. And it's like, whoa. Whatever you say to make yourself feel okay for spending that much money. So I've noticed the average Johnny Cupcakes customer purchases, 2 or 3 t-shirts on our website. So we've really seen a lot more people buying more products in bulk online than they do in stores. Our web store kept growing. My dad built out the attic for me for Christmas, and then for my birthday, he built out the other side of the attic. Everything was great. We were selling shirts to people from places I've never even been to, all through word of mouth, people asking about these t-shirts, other bands buying them, those bands and musicians touring, being photographed in different magazines, and everyone's trying to figure out who and what Johnny Cupcakes is. The online shop kept growing. And then I received some terrible complaints from people. Someone got their shirt in the mail who's allergic to cats, and their shirt had cat hair all over it. I didn't realize that our family's cat loves to sit on anything that's new. The cats can sense when something's new. Some of the shirts smell like cigarette smoke. My dad smoked cigarettes, and it was seeping into the cotton of the shirts. Now, I didn't realize how valuable packaging was. It could make or break an experience. Raise your hand if you've ever saved your sneaker boxes. Anybody? All right. Raise your hand if you've ever wanted to go to McDonald's in your life just for the toy, the experience, or even just to go in the ball pit. All right. Raise your hand if you've ever saved your packaging from the Apple Store only because it opens in 14 different weird ways. You're like, that's a cool cardboard box. I can't throw that thing out. And lastly, raise your hand if you know of anybody that saves the sticker on their hats that announces what size head they have. It's a little different if you think about it. Imagine if we flipped our pants inside out to show off what size waist we have. But looking at this hat and looking at the sticker, it's a beautiful hologram sticker, and it makes the hat look and feel new, and it adds to that packaging, to the experience. And even if the hat is really sweaty and dirty on the inside, that little sticker is something that both myself and my friends hold on to. And you kind of have to take a step back to look at all these little details. Now, if you think about Build-A-Bear, there's a lot of kids that want to go to Build-A-Bear, not even for the bear, but to get a cardboard dollhouse that they can color on. Packaging really helps sell a product, and if it's done the right way, it'll act as a miniature billboard. I like to say good packaging does not get thrown away. So we've released some earrings that we've packaged in food containers. We even put nutrition facts on the back, even though you cannot really eat these, just to go along with the Johnny Cupcakes branding. When we sell our T-shirts, we package them in pastry boxes. It does cost us a little bit more time and money, however, it adds to that experience. And if you search the Johnny Cupcakes hashtag on Instagram or Twitter, you'll notice most of the photos are of people's packaging. We've released ice cream-themed T-shirt designs. We've packaged them in oversized custom ice cream packaging that we've sold out of ice cream trucks that we rented in New York City, Santa Monica, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. Now, the only way to get these shirts is if you can find the ice cream truck. So we would post up where we are the night before, and we wanted our customers to chase us like little kids chasing an ice cream truck. Not only that, but we gave out real ice cream with every T-shirt purchase. We sold these T-shirts for about $50, and we sold out of them at each stop that we went to. If you search on eBay, you might find some of these on there for $200 to $300. Here's a giant push-up pop with a rolled-up T-shirt inside of it. So when you get your shirt, you pull the handle off, and you get this cool collectible with your T-shirt. Sometimes it will cost us a few extra dollars for the packaging and a lot of time and research, but it allows us to sell the product for $10 or $20 more, and some of our customers just buy the products to collect the unique packaging and details. We've done frosting shirts and frosting containers, Chinese food-themed shirts, and to-go boxes with magical fortune cookies. We've done Halloween shirts with fake movie titles, like Rise of the Two-Headed Zombie Chefs, and we've even gone as far as hiring actors and special effects people, and we made videos that we posted on YouTube for movie trailers for movies that don't even exist. Not only that, but we packaged the shirts in VHS tapes. So you would get a collectible with your T-shirt, and we set our stores up to look like haunted houses for when we release these T-shirts. I've even gone as far as renting out an actual hearse and coffin I would get delivered in it during the opening of the T-shirt release at nighttime. And by doing that, again, it's cheaper than advertising, and by me spending $250 to rent out a hearse to get delivered in, I realized Marc Jacobs and Ralph Lauren are not doing that, so I decided to try it out. And it would stop almost every single person on Newbury Street in Boston, in West Hollywood by our Melrose Ave shop, because people are trying to figure out what is going on, and they're taking photos and looking up the brand online and asking all of our customers that are waiting in line for T-shirts, who are all acting as brand ambassadors. Some other ones, just to give you an example. And it wouldn't be a Halloween without Count Spatula. We even numbered these shirts, so there is a different number on the back. So you know there's only 200 people in the entire world that have these shirts. Some people might get their favorite number, some people might get a number they hate, but you get a different number on your shirt to guarantee authenticity. and the special packaging. And one of the last examples is the burger shirt, burger packaging. You get the idea. My mom, who I've been fortunate enough to be able to hire as the CFO of the brand as we've grown, she has told me that we could save over $100,000 a year if we just use the free packaging from the different shipping companies that we work with. Now, if I did that, our customers would not feel like it's their birthday when they get their shirt in the mail. So sometimes we'll add custom tissue paper, other times we'll have special packaging, but almost all the time we'll throw in a free sticker or something small to get people excited. If we want to get weird, sometimes we'll throw in a pack of batteries, a chocolate bar, a $20 bill, or a doll's head. Now, I've noticed the more strange the item is, the more likely someone's going to talk about the brand on social media. And then everyone's going to be like, what is Johnny Cupcakes? Let me go check it out. And then some of those people might leave with a t-shirt. So now I just have to figure out what to do with all of the bodies. So now, it's always been my goal to make sure that every time a person supports the brand, that I want them to feel like it's their birthday. I want them to have a story to share. So by doing these little unique details with our products, whether it's through the packaging, the storytelling, the way the stores are set up, or the events, all of these things contribute to the word-of-mouth marketing, and it makes most of our customers do the advertising for us. In the past 14 to 15 years, we've spent little to no money on traditional advertising, and it's mostly been through word of mouth. We ship out shirts every single day from Massachusetts. Now, sometimes I'll take a break from work and I'll just write thank you on some of the customers' online orders. And it's absolutely free. It's something all of you can do. And when people get a handwritten note, it's very refreshing, it's very personal, and it's something you don't often see these days. So some of the things that people have posted on social media when they get the package that I signed, this person said, sometimes it's the little things. How many clothing designers / owners do you know who will personally write a thank you message for their customers? This person said, I just peed myself. Hashtag legit, hashtag no judgment, hashtag so excited, hashtag now I need a frame. And underwear, I guess. And lastly, this person said, received this gem in the mail today and realized that Johnny Cupcakes personally signed my package. This little act of kindness definitely made my day. I've fully supported the Johnny Cupcakes brand for the past 8 years and will forever continue to support such an amazing brand. Thank you so much, Johnny. I don't know if this person's lying or not, but by me taking 2 seconds just to say thank you, this person's saying they're a customer for life and they're posting about it on social media, and hundreds of their friends are learning about the Johnny Cupcakes brand. This was never a marketing idea. Just thanking people is just a human thing that you should try to practice, and it's something that my parents taught me to do. So I love surprising people, whether it's handwritten notes or little toys or doll's heads or chocolate bars in their orders. We tell people even if they buy a shirt and return it the next day, we want them to just get that experience, to learn about what it is to have that branded package come in the mail and to feel like a kid again. Some of our shirts have had oven mitt tags on the inside, even though you can't really bake with them. Some of them have secret messages printed on the inside of the shirts. I can't show you because it's secret. And we've also released some, or we've worked on some packaging that looks like rolling pins with real wooden handles. They're hollowed out, and you pull your t-shirt out from inside of the rolling pin. Now, it's a really cool idea until you realize you actually don't even use rolling pins to make cupcakes. So I haven't released it yet. Like I said, I make mistakes every single day, and I'm like the only person in my company that smiles when we make a mistake because I get so excited to go back to the drawing board to just figure it out. Now, doing something successful is really fun and it's great and all, but my favorite part about starting any business or project or product is the puzzle of putting all the pieces together. And once it's done, I need that excitement again. I need that roller coaster feeling of trying out something new and seeing where it goes. This is our mascot. I think every brand should have a mascot. It really helps with merchandising yourself, and sometimes people remember certain companies based on the mascot, whether it's the Pillsbury Doughboy or Ronald McDonald or so on and so forth. This is our mascot. We call him Big Kid, and this is the toy packaging that Big Kid came in. Now, we dress them up in different costumes. We've done like a Freddy Krueger-inspired Big Kid. We've done a Santa Claus one, and it makes people smile. We have some customers that just collect the Big Kid t-shirts. Now, your business card, your resume, your website, these are all extensions of your personality. If it looks and feels like everybody else's, you're probably going to get treated like everybody else. It's so important to reinvent yourself, to redo your website, to use custom typography, as far as business cards go, just to give you a few examples, here's a wooden business card. Now, if I had to personally choose between 200 carpenters to work on my home, and the person with the least experience had the coolest business card, it would make me think of a few things. It would make me think, hey, if this person puts that much time, energy, creativity, thought into something as little as their business card, it makes me feel like they're going to put that much time, creativity, thought into working on my home. And it really makes me attracted to want to call that person, or at least to take a photo of their business card and to show people when I lecture around the world, because it's such a unique idea. Now, this person may have spent an extra $1 on their business card. However, you want to ask yourself, how much is it worth to really seal the deal and to get someone to be a customer? A few other business cards that I thought were unique. Here's a clear business card. Here's a miniature one. This one's cool if you're starting a clothing line. And this one really stands out. My first business card was a Home Alone 2 Lost in New York trading card. And I just wrote my name and number on the back. But it was so weird and different that it got people talking, and some people even remembered me as the Home Alone 2 kid. So I was paying attention to those things, and it's something you guys should too. Everyone should have a business card. Even if you don't have a business, you should have a card with your contact information on it. There are hundreds of websites that print business cards for free. If you just do a Google search for free business cards, you will find many websites, and within 48 hours, you could have free business cards delivered to your doorstep. Now, if you want to go a little bit further and invest some money as your business grows, I think it's a great idea to do something a little different, whether it's the design or the fabric or the materials on those business cards. Now, I moved out of my parents' house. I still live there because I love my parents, and I didn't really need to move out just yet, but I moved the operations out because of the cat hair, the cigarette smoke. I needed my own space. I found a space down the street, $700 a month for rent. It was zoned commercially, so I could not only store my products there, but I could host events, I could have art shows, I could bring in the community, and I could also sell t-shirts there. Even if we only sold one shirt a month, it's an added bonus, and it helps the brand grow, and it's just, we have that space. So if you're ever looking to open up your own store, office, or studio, try to get a spot that's zoned commercially. Built a community around the brand. Now, when I travel, if I have extra time, I'll post on social media, hey, it's Johnny Cupcakes, I'm in San Francisco for the day. If you show up at this pizza shop at 3 o'clock with your Johnny Cupcake shirt on, I'm going to treat you to lunch. And I'll think maybe 10 or 12 people will show up, and then 400 people will show up, and we can't get into the pizza place, and I'll bring all of those customers to the Union Square Park in San Francisco and get pizza for everybody. Again, it's cheaper than advertising. People love pizza. You get to interact with your fans, your customers, your friends, and it's something different. It's a good way to remix whatever it is that you do. We've done this with pizza, with ice cream, with dodgeball. We'll rent out gyms and have 100 customers play 50 on 50 dodgeball, everyone with their Johnny Cupcake shirts on, and it makes it feel like a community. People began getting the logos tattooed on themselves. Even Travie McCoy of Gym Class Heroes got a giant Johnny Cupcakes logo tattooed on his leg. This guy got one on his neck. I was going to give a lecture in Denver, Colorado. Out of everyone I sat next to this random kid, and he recognized my Johnny Cupcakes t-shirt, and he said, "Oh, I love Johnny Cupcakes. Check out this tattoo I just got." And I said, "Oh, that's cool." He didn't recognize me, so I was just like, whatever, man. So the turning point of my company was when I took another big risk. I decided to go from spending $700 a month on rent at my hometown store to spending more than $7,000 a month on rent, getting a spot on Newbury Street, which is the street to be on in Massachusetts, in Boston. And I had to do it. And I figured things cost money for a reason. It's like apartments, You might be paying more for your apartment. Your friend might be getting an amazing deal. But your friend has a higher chance of getting their car broken into because they're in a sketchy neighborhood. Or you might buy a pair of jeans for $30 and think you got a great deal, and then your friend has a pair that's a little more expensive, but there's different material used on different price points of those pants. With real estate, things cost money for a reason, and in Boston, there were so many universities around and the baseball games, and I just had to test out having a store there. So I got to build up the shop with my dad. I was so excited. Working with my dad was great, and I think one of the reasons that I've never drank alcohol is because my dad was an alcoholic growing up, and I just never wanted to be like that. And my dad has been sober for the past, I want to say 12 years. It's like I have a brand new dad, and it's really great being able to involve my family and spend this much time with my mom and my dad. So we built up the shop together. We looked like Oompa Loompas. I was really excited. If you look close, I look a little too excited, but I was just climbing a ladder. And that opening day, 400 plus customers lined up forever. The line wrapped down Newbury Street, and it wasn't even a single file line. The line was as big as the opening of the Apple store just a few streets over, and I didn't even know what was going on. And it was with no traditional advertising, mostly word of mouth, people jumping in line, even thinking that we sold actual cupcakes. I don't know why they would think that, but what was great is when they jumped in line, they're calling their friends and family like, hey, I'm at Johnny Cupcakes, what do you want? Red velvet, okay, and they're writing down these orders. Now what's really cool is most of our customers are not telling them that there's no real cupcakes inside of the t-shirt shop because they're so excited to see what the reaction is going to be on their faces like 3 hours later when they finally get in the store. So I had this one guy who finally got in and he's like, where are the cupcakes? And I tried telling him the story and he's like, are you serious? I paid for parking. I've been out here with my family all day. Do you think this is funny? And I was like, yeah, I do. And he said, good luck, you're gonna need it. I'd like to see this place last more than a month. And you're gonna meet negative people. There's some people some people just aren't happy unless they have something to complain about. Raise your hand if you know anyone that's not happy unless they have something to complain about. If you're not raising your hand, you probably are that person. You're like, I don't even need to raise my hand, I'm too good for that. I'm just kidding, kind of, not really. But check this out. You have to involve humor in your life every day. I promise you, it will make life feel great. And if you could go to work, whether you're working for yourself or for someone else, if you can go there laughing and come home laughing, it will affect the way you feel, it'll affect your health and the way you operate. Now, I even had kids they used to make fun of me that were in line with money with their significant others, and if I could go back in time, I would have put itching powder inside of their t-shirts, but you have to take this negativity from other people and use that as motivation to prove those people wrong. And I promise you, if you start hanging out with more ambitious, creative people that want to do something with themselves, it is very contagious, and it's like a really cool support system when you start hanging out with those different people. I stopped hanging out with some of the friends I grew up with. I love them. I remember going to their 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th birthday parties, but as we grew older, we started being interested in different things. So inside of the shop, I could have saved a ton of time and money if I went to IKEA. I love IKEA. I love the Swedish meatballs. But if I purchased the inexpensive displays there, my store would look like every other person's store on the street. So I decided to spend all the money I had and didn't have by buying these bakery display cases. Refrigerators, even a dough mixer. I wanted the store to feel like a real bakery when you walk in. So all the shirts are in the refrigerators. We even hide vanilla-scented car fresheners, so when you walk in, you smell frosting. Now, I convinced my friend Boris, he's like, how do you get it to smell like that? That's really cool. I was like, well, what we do is we actually mix vanilla frosting with the white paint. And he's like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, lick the wall right here. And he licked the wall. And then he's like, I don't taste it. What's going on? Is it, do you need to put more on? I was like, no, maybe it's this side. Try this one. And then he did that. And I just said another one, and he did that. And then about the 4th lick, he realized I was messing around with him. Now, if I knew my friend Boris was really going to lick the walls, I would have put Orajel on the walls. So, now inside of the store, again, it looks like a bakery. That opening day was great. We made around 3 months rent on the opening day. off of selling t-shirts in a bakery. It was great. I was able to hire my mom shortly after. She was able to quit that job in the city that once inspired me to be an entrepreneur so that I could make more time for the people that I love. I've also been able to hire my sister, who went to school for business and human resources. I was able to hire my dad to build up the shops, my cousin to help run the warehouse, and it's been great. I've built a positive team over the years. It's not just me. By having teamwork and delegating tasks, it's been great. There's about 33 of us that contribute to the brand inside of the stores and behind the scenes, and it's great. Now, all you need is an idea and a positive attitude and some ambition. And if you can just keep pushing those ideas, you don't have to know how to make a website. You can collaborate with somebody, or maybe someone needs an internship and they can get extra credit, or you could bring them on and maybe pay them as you grow, or maybe you decide to team up with another brand, or maybe you trade t-shirts or music or food or photography for someone who will make your website. There's a lot of ways to barter and build your brand with little to no startup money. All the stores look and smell like bakeries. This is a funny meme that someone posted online. Apple doesn't sell fruit, so why should I sell cupcakes? You know what I mean? But I will tell you, on April Fool's Day, we did sell real cupcakes and we hid all of our t-shirts. We had customers driving from San Francisco to Los Angeles or from New York to Boston, and they're going to buy shirts. And we're like, why would we sell t-shirts? We're Johnny Cupcakes. We actually made a few $1,000s in a day just selling real cupcakes. But we made some new customers, but the next day we lost those customers and all the other customers. But 100% of the people that entered our retail stores left with an experience, a story to tell, and they did the word-of-mouth marketing for us. I do joke around, I'm kind of serious. I might open a store across the street called Johnny's T-Shirts that only sells cupcakes. Because right now we're giving a lot of business to all these local bakeries, and it's not fair. We could be getting that business too if we had real food. So every day people say, wait, you guys don't sell real cupcakes? Now, here's a review. Someone gave me 1 star. They said, this is not Cupcake Shop. Overpriced t-shirts and not even one cupcake. Only when you paid for parking and entered the store, you realize you wasted your time, comma, capital O. English is really important, especially, On the storefront, they have signs galore, freshly baked, no sugar. Not even one sign say they sell cloths. Comma, no cupcakes. They think it's clever? Nope. Well, I'll tell you what's clever. I'm going to put this bad review on a t-shirt and sell it for $35. So, like I said, you have to involve humor in your life. You have to involve humor and creativity in any and all workforces. And that's just, what I try to do. Wrapping things up, there's a dark alley. When I was 24 years old, we made our first million. We were featured in Wall Street Journal. That doesn't mean someone gave us a magic bag of money or even a trophy, but we got recognized for being a successful independent business, and it motivated us to keep pushing further. I finally moved out of my parents' house, or else I would be spooning with my laptop forever. I bought my first home when I was 24 years old. It looked like a haunted house. My dad and I rebuilt it up. I love Christmas so much that I put these little Christmas trees everywhere. And all of the money that I saved from not playing as much video games, I was now able to build an arcade in my basement and make money off of those arcade machines. In a non-Michael Jackson way, of course. So, but I want you to realize it's not about the money, it's about being happy doing what you love. And when you find that business or that company, whether it's yours or someone else's, if you can go to work and come home feeling happy every day, it affects every part of your life. So we kept pushing harder. We opened a store in Los Angeles. It's t-shirt weather year-round. We built it up. First impressions are everything, so we did not rush. We built it out to look like a bakery on steroids. We added slanted small tiles to make a small, narrow retail space feel bigger than it actually is. We added giant mirrors to make the small space feel larger. And I had a giant oven made, 13 feet tall, that secretly opens to the stockroom. And when you buy a t-shirt, our employees have to walk through this giant oven to go to the secret stockroom to bring T-shirts out. Had a wall of ovens made from scratch. I had a photo taken of this guy because he looks like he knows what he's doing, so that's him. Don't get bummed out if you go broke. You have to spend an arm and a leg to make more arms and legs, and when you're in it for the right reasons, you know, your business is going to be a wild ride, and you just have to keep positive and learn from those mistakes. That opening day was great. It looked like a zombie movie. Customers camped out 4 days ahead of time, and the line wrapped around the block. At one point, the end of the line met the beginning of the line, and it wasn't even a single file line. People had to figure out where to stand. So we unraveled the line, gave out numbers so people knew where they were. I hired these guys to build a wooden crate because I wanted to get delivered in a wooden crate when the store opened. And I rented out a truck from the 1950s and rebranded it to say Johnny Cupcakes, fresh deliveries, to go along with the 1950s vibe of this retail store. Got delivered. Even when I came out of this box, I looked like a demented Santa Claus. But I really got into it, and I was just creeping around, and it was great. All the storefronts say freshly baked, no sugar, no carbs, no fat. We're not lying. There's no sugar, no carbs, no fat. There's no food whatsoever. You know, there's a lot of fiber, though. There's a lot of cotton. Now, the only time I feel bad is when a really cute elderly couple with a dietary restrictions come in looking for sugar-free cupcakes, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So we have to hide those in the back. In the future, here's inside of the shop to give you an idea. Looks like a bakery. The ovens open and close and shoot steam out at random times. Used a lot of neutral colors in the store, so the colorful shirts and ovens would pop out. I had giant industrial pipes installed with fake frosting oozing down the industrial refrigerators. And there's the secret entrance that goes into the back stockroom. And when you go pay for your shirt, there's a fake oven with fake stovetop with fire that flickers. It's fake fire, but when I go crazy and don't want to have a business anymore, which might be in a year or two, I'm just kidding, kind of not really, but I might replace this with real fire just to see how many lawsuits we can get. Just kidding, kind of not really. But there's the shop. It was great. And since then, we do pop-up shops around the world. Pop-up shops are great. It's a great way to test out your ideas. There are landlords everywhere that have empty space, and they'll give you a space for free or for really, really cheap just for you to have an event in there for one night, one weekend, or 1 month, because it makes it attractive for the potential customers that might want to lease that space out for an entire year or two. So we've done pop-up shops around the whole world where we'll do exclusive products you can only get in different states, cities, or countries. We even did one in London for 4 years for the Olympics. And out of all the resumes I received, only one person did something unique. This girl gave us a Polaroid photo of herself blowing a bubble. Her resume jumped from the bottom of the pile to the top, and she was the first person we interviewed and the first person we hired, because we said to ourselves, you know, this one or two things are going to happen. This girl is going to be funny and goofy and weird, just like us, or she's going to murder all of us. I don't know, but I want to take the risk and find out, and end up working out great. So if you're trying to get a job in the creative industry, you should be creative. It will really, really help. I got to bring my dad to England for his first time. I don't want to die tomorrow, but if I did, the memory of hanging out with my dad for 2 months in another country, learning how to run a business in another country, was a really fun adventure. And same thing with my mom. I got to bring my mom to London. We were so excited. I wanted to blow up this photo for her and give it to her for Mother's Day. And when I got the photo back from the printer, I realized that there were a bunch of really strange pictures right behind us. So I decided to give my mom a different photo. I'm going to show you a quick couple-minute video of the success of that shop, of the pop-up shop, and the experience and the opening day of teamwork, of keeping positive, thinking outside of the box, and taking risks. After that's done, I have a couple important things to say, and we'll do some Q&A. So here we go.
Western Mass, Montana, Minnesota, Germany, Boston. I'm from Chicago. I flew all the way over here today.
London, here we go. You'll see this one upset customer that came out in just a second.
To be very honest, I just came. But I came here last night and saw like about 7 people standing there, and I was like, not much people know about it. Hopefully, it's freaking ridiculous. The line's up by Regent Street. So, peace now.
So, like I said, we've been in business for 14 to 15 years. When I'm not in the office, I travel. I help other people come up with ideas to start their own businesses or reinvent some of the businesses that they are at. When I'm not lecturing, I also met somebody who loves Home Alone as much as I do, and this Saturday, I'm getting married to her. So I'm really excited. And another really cool thing happened that I can't even believe that I want to share with you. I was an extra in the new Ghostbusters movie. So you might see me for half of a second in the background. Oh my God. But I was really excited. So I want you to realize luck has nothing to do with it. Stop making excuses and start making stuff. My name is Johnny Cupcakes, and I believe that real success is being happy doing what you love. Thank you very much.